everybody? It's your boy Logo320 reporting in on your weekly video game news. And man, you got a lot of really butthurt people, you got a lot of surprise people, and needless to say, a lot of people think that the Jeff Keighley show finally picked the right game for once. I know a lot of people last year thought Horizon Zero Dawn should have won over Zelda. Well, it wasn't just the Game Awards that selected them, it was pretty much all the publications, so it ran away with it in the total Game of the Year I guess the amount of awards that they won. And they fucked up way back when, in what was it, 2016, when they picked Overwatch over Uncharted, but Uncharted ended up winning all the total Game of the Year awards along with the fan picks. So it's weird how things work. This whole time we were watching this show, it was pretty much a Red Dead Redemption slurp fest. It felt like they were going to win all the awards. Even had a bunch of jokes for them winning in basically stuff they weren't even nominated in certain categories, like I think mobile game. Greg Miller was one of the people that tweeted out about that in a joking fashion. This show sucked, guys. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna try to spin it because God of War won, which is what I was hoping. I said a bunch of times I thought it should win. I thought they were gonna pick Red Dead. I was wrong on their selection, so I'll give them some props on that for not going with the popular choice because this whole show was just running us ads, stuff to pay their bills. There was nothing really that surprised anybody because it kind of got leaked ahead of time. Dragon Age was leaked ahead of time. Crash Team Racing, great. We got that reveal. It's coming out on Switch, Xbox, and PS4. But again, that was kind of leaked, so the only real surprise was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 being a Switch exclusive. I'm going to assume time exclusive because, that wouldn't make much sense. Other than that, what, Persona and Super Smash Brothers? Again, there really wasn't anything earth shattering, and I mean, it was pretty much the Sony Award show when you think about it. Look at all the categories, and it was usually Quantum Dreams, Detroit, Insomniac with Spider-Man, then Sony Santa Monica with God of War, and that was pretty much it, guys. You really didn't have anything else. I mean, I'm trying to think what Forza Horizon won for best sports. I mean, and when Game of the Year was read from that envelope, man, look at Larry Hyrb in this little still photograph. Look how pissed off he looks. At least, I'm surprised Aaron Greenberg actually had this kind of professional tactfulness to just kind of look professional. It's ridiculous because he's pretty much used to acting the opposite, especially on Twitter. But he actually had a smile on his face, give a round of applause. It's professional. Larry Herb, like in this photo I'm mentioning, it's on the bottom left if you guys aren't paying attention. He was butthurt. And I know it was in their building. I think that's where they held their E3 last year, but you literally had nothing there. You had nothing to be nominated. So at this point, I'm thinking, why are even half you guys there? It should just be at least Phil Spencer or Aaron Greenberg. I don't know why they bought the whole team there to what, celebrate a Forza Horizon Sports Award. Like you're gonna be there to basically lick your own wounds if Sony wins an award. I mean, they had the best odds out of anybody. They had two games nominated, Spider-Man and God of War. And I'm pretty sure they were hoping Red Dead was going to win so they can promote the best version, one game of the year. And you can only play the best version on their console, excuse me, I should say. And no, God of War won. This guy was butthurt. I mean, you guys don't make games. I mean, even that Jeff Keighley little mini interview they had during the Game Awards show, he was asking him, what'd you think of your entire year, as a whole, 2018? He said, good, but it could be better. That was so uncomfortable, man. That was so, we know 2018, 2017, 2016, all these years have stunk for Xbox, right? So all the haters are coming out in full force trying to hate on this game, saying it shouldn't have won. Red Dead shouldn't have won. So why don't we just look at Twitter and see some of the reaction on the Game Awards show? Because guys, you got to get over this shit. The game had poor controls. It had worse controls than Red Dead 1. And if you don't think that makes a huge difference in these games, look, there's my comment. I just did it about 15 minutes ago before I decided to start this little video. So, I mean, controls matters, guys. And a lot of people hated the controls in this game, whether it was the covering, the shooting. I had no problem with the shooting. To me, it was the covering. It was the covering. And I turned auto aim off, and I turned all the other stuff up. And it kind of fixed aiming for me, I'm not going to lie. But the covering is worse. And I don't know how you're working all these other years later. You're putting in, I'm going to assume, twice the amount of work that you did on the original Red Dead, and you can't fix the controlling. Maybe they needed more time. Maybe the game was just too ambitious because of how good it looked. But they could never fix the controlling, and who knows if they're going to patch it. But guys, at the end of the day, I think it came down to that. The controls are just worse. God of War controlled better. It actually had HDR. It had things going for it, man. And honestly, I think it should have won for Best Narrative. It should have won for Best Narrative. Red Dead Redemption was a good narrative, but That's another category that I think they just gave to Rockstar because, they all flew out there, so why the fuck not? They ended up giving just Best Action Adventure and Game of the Year to Sony Santa Monica for God of War, if I'm not mistaken. But most of the awards went to Red Dead. And that's why I assumed, well, why am I watching the rest of this crap? But like, yeah, let's see what people are saying, how annoyed they are. And I'm sure a bunch of Red Dead Redemption Rockstar supporters are going apeshit about this. And look at this idiot. He says Sony used E3 money on it. That was the case, and they have the most nominations out of the big three companies with 7 in all these Jeff Keighley shows, which is what I like to call them, guys, because once again, this isn't the total for the Game of the Year awards. It's just one show. It counts as one. So if you're a casual or an idiot out there thinking this is the be-all, end-all award show, it's not. It counts as one, guys. I'm going to show you shortly before I end the video. But yeah, let's go through some of these Twitter posts and reactions right away. Let's see what the replies are, man. Some of these I haven't read. Of course, he's got a Red Dead Redemption icon. He's got Arthur Morgan right there. What else is he going to say? I mean, he's pretty much a slave to a particular franchise. Guys, it is what it is, man. The right game won. And it should have won. And I'll tell you one thing, it probably wouldn't have won if they actually fixed the controls of Red Dead, because that's what it came down to, man. Because when you're playing a game, but you're not actually enjoying playing it, if that makes any sense, should it be Game of the Year? That's what kind of kept going through my head over and over, man, because I want to play the game, but there was little things that annoyed me, like they took out the fast travel and the camps you would make. Like I said, the covering was worse. You were literally forced to go on these long expeditions for no reason, just to basically make it feel realistic. I mean, why is the camp just involve slow walking? Like you can't power walk. I get not running, but you can't even power walk to like bring the bale of hay or stuff across the camp. I mean, if you're gonna do that, then why don't you make the bale of hay placement closer to the bale of hay? Like little annoying things like that that kind of just rub me the wrong way. And the weapon will. I don't know what they did with the weapon wheel, but it felt worse to me picking things off the horse only, and then it tells you you don't have enough space, but you always do to put on like that last pelt or the carcass. Little things, man. Little things go a long way, man. And the online, whether that would have made a difference if it would have came out same day as a single player campaign, all polished. We'll never know, man. It might have definitely influenced it, but they obviously didn't even have enough time to polish some of the aspects in the single player campaign, let alone the multiplayer and the currency system that people are complaining about. But yeah, guys, people are saying, from what I'm reading, they're kind of in agreement. Obviously, shitting on the people who are salty about this decision. But it is what it is, guys. And before I end this video, I'm just going to go to the side I'm telling you. Again, guys, I've said this multiple times. I know I'm not popular. Trust me, I'm not pretending like I am. But anybody who's watching this for your own education, and for anybody that tries to tell you otherwise, this site gives you the total Game of the Year awards going back to 2003. And this is for this year so far, so you should expect the rest of them, the Game of the Year selections, trickling down from these other publications pretty shortly. But so far, God of War leads. Red Dead Redemption has, what, 2? Some game I've never heard of called Florence, got picked by Pace Magazine, and Fortnite Battle Royale basically won the Golden Joysticks Awards, kind of in the same fashion that God of War won the Game Awards show, whereas God of War won all the, I think, categories it was nominated for in Golden Joysticks, but it lost Game of the Year to this because Golden Joystick Awards is retarded. So what can I say other than that? The Critics' Choice picked this, but I guess their overall choice plus fan choice picked that. That makes a lot of sense because this is nobody's Game of the Year unless you absolutely don't know shit about games and you're casual as fuck and you pretty much like playing free games, which I'm not gonna fault you for, but there's better games than Fortnite. And if you're gonna say otherwise, then I can't take you seriously, nor anybody else is going to take you seriously with any kind of gaming crud. But yeah, guys, so give you a good example. We're going to go all the way back to 2006. Remember, this is the year that people thought that I think Overwatch won, right? Let me see if I got it. Yeah, so I see Uncharted. Overwatch did not win this year, you casual, stupid idiots. And most of these people were just Xbox fans trying to be, antagonizing and kind of annoying. Just trying to I don't know, thinking it mattered, man. Anybody with a brain, Uncharted was a better game and it took most of the awards. And look at all these bold selections by Uncharted. 165, 89 critics picked, 76 readers picked. The readers unanimously voted for this game, man. Won by a lot, 165 to 102. Last Guardian came in 5th, so people that shit on this game as well, it was 5th on Game of the Years. I haven't seen one Xbox or even like a lesser Nintendo exclusive make the 5th, so yeah, this is like a game that people overlooked and it's still in the finishing, what, 5th in overall Game of the Years. And I'll tell you the last time Xbox actually won a Game of the Year. You know what? No, let's go back to 2017 just to show you guys that I'm fair, man. Because I like PlayStation, and I'm gonna tell you what I think one way or the other. And like I said before, I thought Horizon should have won, but Breath of the Wild ran away with this, yo. So it was a no contest. It wasn't even close. It was 189 to 52. Critics picked it, readers picked it. So, again, this is only a game I've seen, I haven't played, but to me, if you can't run right, meaning a steady 30 frames per second, you look really outdated, and you're going to compare yourself to a game that won Digital Foundry's best tech, it's going to kind of be hard for me to believe that it's a lot better than that. I'm not saying it's not better, but to be this dramatically better, that's another thing entirely. But yeah, guys, let's go back to the last game that Xbox won for was a Game of the Year nomination, man. And bear in mind, this is a timed exclusive, but it was a classic one. And that happened to be BioShock, man. It actually beat out Mario Galaxy. It beat out some pretty representative candidates. Halo 3. I'm surprised even Crisis 1 was nominated. Mass Effect 1, the Orange Box. Why was that nominated? That was weird, but yeah. Even the original Witcher was on there. Damn, this is a long time ago, guys. Ratchet and Clank. This is a long time. The first Crackdown. Long time ago. And yeah, that was the last Xbox game that won, and it wasn't even their game since it was a time exclusive. But yeah, guys, this is the site you want to go to. Again, it's called Game of the Year picks.blogspot.com. They'll give you everything going all the way back to 2003. So that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let me know if you think I'm full of it or I'm wrong. But yeah, Game of the Year definitely went to God of War for me. Thought they were going to pick Red Dead, and unfortunately I was wrong about that. They ended up picking the right selection. So yeah, guys, have a great weekend. I want to put a quick video out there. I normally do this on Thursdays, but yeah, I'm out. Be safe. Take care. Have a good one.